looks like a high elven recording stone.
Looks like. But then why the hell was it in that thing's head?
Defense golem? Maybe it went rogue?
No. It didn't look right. It looked humanoid. Like the Terminator, but white. All over like a sheet of paper. I don't want to think about it anymore.
Jane? Is that a safe place to keep it?
Seeing as I lack lead foil, black silk, and the space for a proper protective circle, it'll have to do. Besides, I have too much work that needs to be done. I have a review on my hands that's well overdue. Oh, and Codex came back with me. Don't harass her too much, okay?
Who? Me?
Yeah, you, miss. I have a Netflix app full of horror movies. Play nice.
Spoil sport?
Greetings, fair readers. Welcome to the Bookwyrm's Lair. I'm Jane Grey, the Book Witch. Sorry about the delay in reviews. I had to abandon my old cavern after a little incident. Oh, and if a certain explosive happy Libriad is watching, you have the rest of Elspace to stay in. Keep out of my sector. So for today's offering, I found myself having to dig through boxes and so forth of hastily packed paperbacks before I found something even remotely suitable. And here it is, One Corpse Too Many, by Ellis Peters, the second Brother Cadfael novel. While it's mostly against my policy to review any books in a series before I review the first, I'm breaking that rule here. Why? Because I'm not particularly fond of the first one, A Morbid Taste for Bones. And I personally feel it's one of the weakest books in a series of really good stories. Maybe I'll touch upon it someday, just not today. I want people to actually read these books. They don't get nearly enough recognition these days. But first, who is Brother Cadfael? Created by Edith Pargeter, aka Ellis Peters, Brother Cadfael is a former crusader who, at the age of 40, takes monastic vows and becomes an herbalist at a monastery in Shrewsbury. Noted for his mild nature, even temper, and special feeling of kinship with his abbey's patron, St. Winifred, Brother Cadfael is perhaps one of the most endearing and lovable sleuths I've had the pleasure of reading. The fact that he's played by Sir Derek Jacobi doesn't hurt. The tale begins with Brother Cadfael, hard at work in his garden, and musing over the civil war in England at the time. You see, in 1136, the English throne had two people trying to claim it. Count Stephen of Blois, the French grandson of the previous king, and Empress Maud, his cousin. Loyalties were divided all over. It's not vital to know all of the story, but that little bit will help the story make sense from here on out. Brother Cadfael is given a young boy named Godric to help him, an orphan sent to the monastery for safety and possibly a vocation. But Brother Cadfael senses that young Godric isn't all he seems, and is proven right after a few tests. Godric is really a young woman, Goddeth Aidne, the daughter of a notorious opponent of Stephen's rule. Meanwhile, King Stephen is trying to take control of the town of Shrewsbury, home to the abbey where Brother Cadfael lives. Goddeth's betrothed is mentioned as wishing an audience with the king, a man by the name of Hugh Berenger. He's become disillusioned with Empress Maud, and despite being betrothed to the daughter of one of her most ardent supporters, has come to swear fealty to King Stephen. At the same time, a lady arrives to speak with him as well, Aline Seward, a beauty who has recently become orphaned, and has come to offer him her fealty and the keys to her 2 castles and all other holdings. In addition, she seeks news of her brother Giles, who took the side of Empress Maud. A crippled young man who follows the soldiers witnesses a man in a cloak coming into the camp late at night. Nothing so unusual in the 12th century, but he overhears bits of the conversation, and by proxy, so do we. "I must go back," he says. "There must be no suspicion. I have my orders." Osborne, the disabled young man, begs some charity from the stranger and gets a coin, along with a request to pray for him. The next morning, the army musters and prepares to attack Shrewsbury Castle. King Stephen takes the castle easily and has his men, Adam Corsell and Willem ten Hate, round up the hostages. The only one of the leaders they track down is Arnulf of Hesdin. The other two, William Fitzalan and Fulk Aidney, Godith's father, are missing, believed to have escaped once it was clear they were losing. King Stephen gives him an ultimatum. Tell him where his friends are, or hang by the afternoon. But King Stephen orders the rest of the captives hung until dead, 93 men in all. Once it's clear that Hesdin isn't talking, he's made to be the first to swing. Okay, so I'll be honest with y'all. I suck at math. Suck like a pinhole on a space station bulkhead. So, Lenore,
Yep.
93 plus 1 is what?
Jane, you aren't that bad at counting.
Humor me on this one, please, Lenore, my friend. For the sake of argument, let's just say I'm that much of a dolt about numbers.
94.
Thanks. The monks of Shrewsbury are given permission to prepare the dead for burial, and Brother Cadfael, having been a soldier once, is asked to do the job. Sheriff Prescott is disinterested and allows the monks to go about their work readying the bodies. But now we get to the title of the novel, for while 94 bodies are expected, there is one extra body. Prescott isn't concerned, but Cadfael proves that this extra corpse died by being choked with a garrote and with his hands unbound, unlike those who were hung. Sheriff Prescott is finally convinced to ask that the townsfolk come to identify the mystery dead man. Aline shows up in search of Giles and is aided by Hugh Berengar. He's taken a shine to her. But he has a rival in Corsell, and the two face off about bringing her to see such a grisly thing. Aline, however, is firm and checks the 95th body, determining that he isn't Giles. But Giles is still among the dead, having been hung with the rest of the rebels. Poor kid. How horrible must that be? A few days later, Aline brings her brother's clothes, including his rather distinctive cloak, to Cadfael's workshop, where only Godith is in attendance, still disguised as Godric. Godith later insists on going to see the body for herself, identifying him as one Nicholas Faintree, a squire of Fitzalan's. They agree to keep his allegiance a secret in order to find justice for him. On his way to speak to the king, Brother Cadfael comes across Osborne and gives him Giles Seward's cloak, which he immediately recognizes from the night before the battle. Godith sends word to her nurse, who spirited her way to the abbey, to help Cadfael, and she and her husband admit that Faintree and another lad, Torald Blund, were sneaking the Aidney treasures out to help raise an army for Empress Maud's side. Since Torald is missing, it's believed he killed Faintree and ran off with the treasure. They also reveal that Hugh Berengar has been looking for Godith, his betrothed, probably as a hostage. We're going to take a short break for the moment, but stay tuned, this book isn't done being sticky. During the funeral for Faintree, Brother Cadfael realizes that Hugh Berengar is around, so he sends Godith out to the fields to work so she stays out of sight. Good thing, too, because he comes snooping around the workshop. The two men size each other up, and it's clear they trust each other about as much as they should.
Which isn't it all?
Bingo! When Godith returns, she tells Brother Cadfael that she found a wounded man by the river, half starved to death. The young man was hunted by soldiers into the water, his affliction caused by an arrow. Brother Cadfael goes back with Godith and tends to the fugitive's injuries, hiding him in a nearby mill. Godith is the first of them to guess that the young man is none other than Torald Blund. Torald and Faintree were both attacked, but Torald got away, leaving the treasure behind in a barn, where Faintree was killed. Cadfael goes to find the barn, because they left a lamed horse there where they found a bunch of caltrops. And that's odd too. Caltrops on a well-used road. Makes sense. Caltrops on a little goat track through the woods? Smells fishy, no? However, the treasure has remained safely hidden, with an extra surprise. The pommel stone of a dagger, too fine to be just anybody's.
In the meantime, Goddess comes out as a woman to Torald, having discovered a fondness for him. Well, okay, they start roughhousing and he gets an accidental handful of the girls.
She pops him one upside the head, a gesture I heartily approve of. None of his business anyway. Can it, you? I made a cute boy until the puberty pixie got uppity.
As the two youngsters grow closer, Brother Cadfael begins to put the pieces together. The pommel stone was probably broken off in a fight between Torald and his would-be assassin. But who was the assassin? That remains unknown, and any further questioning is stalled by the knowledge that they're being spied upon by someone. That someone? Hugh Beringer.
Hugh lets it slip in companionable conversation with Cadfael that the king is planning to invade the town the next day, which allows him to go and hide the treasure. But he makes sure that Hugh follows and sees where he hides it. In the meantime, the search for Goddeth continues. Adam Corsell commandeers the abbey and use of all its horses for the king's use. But Goddeth has already escaped, with a horse, to hide under the wing of the beautiful Mistress Aline. She reveals the truth to Aline, who provides her with a dress, and tells Brother Cadfael where to find her. Goddeth takes Torald in her flight, intending to have him accompany her to France. But soon after retrieving the treasure, they're caught by Hugh Beringer.
Surprisingly, Hugh Beringer doesn't want to take Goddeth as a captive or as his rightful betrothed. He takes the treasure, but lets Goddeth and Torald escape with his blessing, sure that the treasure will be enough to placate the king.
You've got the poker face of a muppet. Don't spoil it.
Sorry, but
If you don't mute yourself right now, I'll download you onto a calculator. As this glorified lump of silicon nearly lets slip, the treasure isn't there. Only a bundle of clothes and the pommel stone. He takes it pretty well, all things considered. Heck, he finds it hilarious that he's just been outsmarted by an old monk. But there's significance to the clothes. They're the ones worn by Nicholas Faintree when he was killed. And the pommel stone is recognized as being from a dagger worn by Giles Seward, probably looted by his murderer. Oh, no you don't, you scamp. I'm not there yet.
The king holds a feast the night before he leaves the area, and the monks of the abbey are called upon to act as serving staff. Brother Cadfael comes across young Osborne again, who confesses that the cloak belonged to the man he saw the night before the battle. And one more point, a beautiful but pommelless dagger is seen in the hands of a kitchen lad, gutting fish. The boy remembers the face of the man who threw it in too. That man is...
I said, that man is... ...
now?
Yeah, now. You know what time it is, fair readers. Mute the sound, plug your ears, take out your headphones, and wait for the picture to come back. Unless, of course, you want to know the ending.
The man the boy fingers is Adam Corsell, the zealous knight of King Stephen's retinue, and Hugh's rival for the hand of Mistress Aline. He had planned to steal the treasure for himself, and killed all who might know of its location, including Giles Seward, who had informed him of its transport. This being the Middle Ages, the matter is to be settled by a duel to the death between Hugh and Adam. It looks like an unfair fight, Hugh being a slight man, and Adam being strong and tall. Aline and Cadfael pray for Hugh's safety, and Hugh seems to have the endurance. Whether by luck, stamina, or a miracle, brought on by the truth and justice of the thing, Hugh wins. The king makes Hugh sheriff over the shire in Adam's place, and Aline proclaims her love for him. To his credit, Cadfael, the wise and mild-mannered monk, swears to aid Hugh in investigations whenever possible.
So what do I think? Simple. I love it. Brother Cadfael is one of my favorite sleuths, and his charm and lovable nature make him a joy to read. Though some of the books in the series are weaker than others, they all have merit. If you aren't much of a reader, there's always the TV series, which you can find on Netflix Instant Play as of this recording, and if you do like these books, you'll love the show. True, it abbreviates and tinkers with plots, but the cast and crew clearly put their hearts and backs into this whole endeavor. I give the book a blue star. It does tend to be a long, slogging read, but I consider it worth it to persevere with this one. I recommend it to historical fans, fans of forensic science, and anyone looking for a bit of intellectual beach reading. That's all for today. Until next time, I'm Jane Grey, wishing you a good book to curl up with.
Mama, we all go to hell. Mama, we all go to hell. I'm writing this letter and wishing you well. Mama, we all go to hell. Oh, well now, Mama, we're all gonna die. Mama, we're all gonna die. Stop asking me questions, I'd hate to see you cry. Mama, we're all gonna die. When we go, don't blame us, yeah.
Cody, what's up?
This stone, there's something odd about it. I can't place what, though.
It's a high elven recording stone. They're awfully rare these days, but I think I have a reader around here. Somewhere.
That's just it. If it were a recording stone, I could converse with it. It's not talking to me.
Could it be broken? I hit that thing pretty hard.
No, I doubt it. I'm thinking maybe it's a soul stone.
That's crazy. Soulstones haven't been used since the 5th century. Too dangerous.
Well, if it is, it's pretty stable. But there's a chance that was why the golem was so easy to put down. If it were just powered by the word, that would be one thing. But powered even by a stable soul stone, it might have been under duress or enslaved.
That can be done.
It's possible. But why? And why let them wander around L-space unsupervised?
Maybe it wasn't.